Sunday morning cold, eyes on the score, touchdown dance ball, craving for more. Friends are calling, trades are on fire. Rookies falling, championship desire. Fantasy football fever, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, we're the winning team.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Healers Podcast, your go-to podcast for all things football. It's opening day, baby, and the 2025 season is here to light up the scoreboard. I'm your host, Dustin Brown, and with me is Colton Palmer, and today we're diving into heart-pounding matchups, breakout players to watch, and those bold predictions that'll have you ready to tailgate. From the roar of the crowds of the clash of the field, we're breaking down every angle of week one. So grab your jersey, crack open a cold one, and let's get this season started right now.
Very nice. Very nice. Did you
Really small applause.
like a little golf clap? A little golf clap.
Yep, just nice and soft.
We made it. We made it. My goodness. And I've never been more excited. I don't know if you felt the same, but I felt like this off season was so long. Maybe it's because I had so much going on. But it just felt like it was forever since I watched a game of football. And now I've gotten two. I've gotten the old jitters out from the withdrawal. And man, I am ready. I am ready. We're recording this on Sunday morning, so right before all the games, and I'm just prepared for Red Zone to pop up on my screen, and I'm gonna love every minute of it today.
Is that how you watch footballs through Red Zone?
I usually have Red Zone up, and then I usually get another couple screens or at least one other screen going that shows a game that I want to watch the full thing. But I love Red Zone, man. Just because it shows you all the fantasy football relevant stuff. It shows the big plays, and if you happen to miss something, it goes back to it. So it's not all
again.
it's not live. So I just like that it allows me to keep up with everything. And of course, I'll throw the Vikings or the Colts game up on another screen just to watch the full thing. But for the most part, I like Red Zone, man.
I get too much into it. I've watched Red Zone before, and they'll show a play and they say, "Oh, this is what's happening." They're almost in the red zone, and they score, and then they're just when you're getting excited for that game and those teams, then it's like, whoop, whoop, we're gonna change it over here, and it's too chaotic for me.
See, that's
I'll watch the four screens on the YouTube TV, and if one game looks better than the other, I can always just kind of click and watch, and then I can bounce back out when it's a commercial, and then I can go into another game.
See, that's what I love about it. My ADHD brain, the mass chaos is here, there, everywhere. It just keeps my attention. And my wife is the same. She's like, I didn't like football. Like, I couldn't watch just a game. But she's like, on Sundays, she'll sit and watch Red Zone with me because she's like, it's just all action. It's all the important stuff. She's actually in 2 leagues this year, Dustin. I got her to join 2 fantasy football leagues. So
yep,
we're
I got my wife in 2 leagues also.
We're working our way up.
Yep. This was her first time doing a actual timed draft of only 2 minutes. She's in the Guillotine League with me, and she's like, 2 minutes. It's it's so quick. Yeah. It's so quick to find your guys. And there was 18 teams in this Guillotine League, and so okay, we just have to shorten it down just a little bit more to that 12 team mark, and boy, then you'll really see it going a little bit quicker. But she did a really good job, and she's got a good team. Actually, I like her team a little bit better than mine.
Nice. Just gotta get the people involved, man.
Yep. If you build it, they will come.
So, is that Field of Dreams? Is that a baseball theme? Did you just throw out a baseball theme? It's Football Sunday, Dustin. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that you've had the itch. You just need to watch the UFL a little bit more in the spring, and then you'll have a little bit less of an itch. He's got a grimace look on his face.
See,
it's not bad.
There's a reason I can't watch college football. as well. Like people go nuts for college football, but I'm just like I'm comparing it to the NFL. I'm like, this is amateur hour. Like I just can't watch it because I'm like I'm so used to watching the NFL, the big plays, the awesome stuff. I mean, college they of course have that. It's less often, but it's also either like one juggernaut team just beating the crap out of this little guy, or two big teams going head to head, and I find it more boring. So it's just not as fun as NFL. So that's really the only football I can watch, man. And the
I
UFL
usually
is like,
watch more NFL because I was like, okay, I gotta find a honeydew day. Like I need to do this on like a Saturday, and then on my Sunday, then hopefully I have my honeydew list over with, and I can sit and watch TV. But it never fails. It's like, oh, let's get the groceries, and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like, oh, like why didn't we do this before 11 o'clock?
red zone on the go, baby.
I mean, I have YouTube on the go too if I really want to. But going back to college football, I'm not really one to watch a lot of college football either. I'll watch a lot of the bowl games when that time frame comes up in December because they usually spread it out very nicely for us to watch. But for those of you that are new viewers and listeners, I do also work with the Big Ten, and I'm an independent medical spotter. And I do watch some of the college football games to watch for head and neck injuries. I did a couple games last week, and then I did one just yesterday.
Yeah,
So
I don't
watch
watch
some college football, but it's a different experience because we're not hearing the announcers. I got a headset on. I'm communicating with independent medical spotter that's there at the game and can communicate with some of the medical staff on the sidelines. And it's purely about player safety. And on this podcast or anywhere else, it's tight. Like can't really talk about any specific plays or any specific players of any kind, but just wanted you to know, like that's how I interpret or watch my college football.
Yeah, you said you don't watch a lot of college football, and then every Saturday you're watching a lot of college football.
Well, it's only been this year and last year, and it's not every weekend.
Won't be next
It
weekend.
makes it hard to get my honeydew list done. So guess what I got to do today?
Oh, that's what I'm doing. We're swapping my kids' room around and painting, and I mean, we're just settling into this house now, so it's just a lot of crap to do and making it at our own. So today I'll also be doing stuff. I'll be thinking of you.
We're going to the pumpkin patch this afternoon because guess what this week is?
The Pumpkin Festival! Stupid Pumpkin Festival.
Pumpkin Festival takes over our entire town.
Well, if anyone's listening, you don't know Morton. The Pumpkin Festival is a big deal to these Morton people. It's so stupid.
Yeah, they have like 85% of like the pumpkin production in the entire world right here in Morton, Illinois. So if you're around this week, come say hi to the Fantasy Football Healers and Morton and enjoy your pumpkin.
We should get a booth. Let's get a booth at the Pumpkin Festival next year.
Be a bad idea.
We'll just sit and talk fantasy football. Just like pull up a chair, talk fantasy football with us.
They're going to be like, who are you? You've never heard of our podcast?
Oh, have you never heard of this?
That's weird.
Pretty famous. That's all I know.
Yeah. It's like when Kramer's asking for a decaf cappuccino. What, you don't have that? That's weird.
So odd.
Same experience.
Come and talk fantasy football with us.
Yeah, so Colton, there's already been a couple games that have happened this week. Did you get a chance to watch either one of them?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I watched the first half of the
Eagles.
Cowboys, and then unfortunately it was time to put the boys down, and then the weather delay happened, and I had to work on Friday, so I was like, I
watched it till the weather delay.
That's what I did. Yep, I watched until the weather delay. I wonder what time did it actually finish. I heard they restarted at it was 10 o'clock or 10 or 11 o'clock here, our time, Central Time. They started at 11, so it had to finish beyond midnight.
I'm not sure, Colton. I'm getting older. I couldn't stay up that late.
Yeah, man. I turned the big 3-0 this year. The whole sleep schedule has to remain steady.
Has to stay the constant. You got to keep the constant.
Yeah, I mean, and I know.
You don't want to turn into a zombie like I did around that time frame?
I know at some point one of my children are waking up, so it's like, I've got to get to bed or I am going to be just zonked tomorrow. So I got to hit bed. You got to do it.
So what were some of your takes from the Cowboys-Eagles game?
I am so sorry to everyone that I've told that A.J. Brown is a dog. He was non-existent, man. I admit, I told my brother. My brother made a trade in a dynasty league for A.J. Brown, and he gave away Hollywood Brown, which we'll talk about here shortly, and Kyron
Yes, we
Williams,
will.
and got A.J. Brown and like a second back. And I was like, you got to take the A.J. Brown, man. And I'm like, he's a stud. Your team's going for it. You need those high upside points. And then I get a singular text the next morning, and it just says, you suck. And just that's it. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I can't control what he does. Jalen Hurts just was not seeing him. He was spreading the ball around. Jahan Dotson got a couple catches. Dallas Goedert was heavily involved. Devonta Smith only caught a couple catches as well. I think it was just the Dallas defense was honing in on A.J. Brown. I think this is an outlier game. Don't sweat it. Week 1 is always weird, man. It's always weird, and everybody freaks out. Like, oh, A.J. Brown just isn't that guy anymore. So if you got some people saying that in your league, go and snag them, because after putting up just one reception for 8 yards, I mean, he's going to be back. He's going to be fine. It's always a weird week 1. Do not worry.
And here's a couple takes that I have for you, Colton. Remember how Mark Andrews had a really tough start of the year and everyone forgot about his car accident right before the season started? Well, no one's talking about it, but I remember A.J. Brown had a hamstring injury just like 2 weeks ago. Yep. And then he was just, hey, we're going to clear him for the game. He's probably just a decoy out there. Of course, Hurts didn't look for him because he didn't need to, for one, because it's the Cowboys. And then number 2, like, he knows his boy is injured. Why is he going to be throwing to him? Hey, I'll throw to this guy over here and Jahan Dotson that people are going to pick up on the waivers for some reason. Not me. They're going to do it. And they're like, oh, look at him. He was the number 1, team in the league. No, don't do it. And oh, by the way, and this is also another thought process here too. Like, we can't forget the Eagles threw the least amount of passes per game just last season. And so we can't be surprised that they're going to have a low volume offense when it comes to passing the ball around, because they're usually leading most of the game. And so they can lean on Saquon. They're going to have tougher matchups. There's going to be better opportunities for A.J. Brown. I agree 100%. But I think it's going to be hard to want to trust him until you know that he's completely healthy.
Yeah, and it was also underreported. Devonta Smith was also on the injury report not long ago. It was both of them. I mean, Jahan Dotson was the only wide receiver on the practice field at one point in time. And we are unfortunately, and fortunately for you, seeing the emergence of a better running back field. I mean, Saquon Barkley's a dominant, but now he can take a break, and Will Shipley looked good until he got injured.
Until he got injured.
A.J. Dillon looked pretty solid. So there's backups. So they can just keep chugging this ball and not worry about injuring Saquon Barkley. He's still going to get his touches and everything. Of course, it's Saquon Barkley. You're not going to take that away from him, but he can take a break. He got out of the game, and A.J. Dillon looked fine, and so did Will Shipley. So when Will Shipley's back, they have this 3-headed monster in the backfield. So, yes, it's scary, but when A.J. Brown comes back from his injury, like you're saying, I think it's going to be just fine. You only need 4 or 5 big plays out of A.J. Brown, and he's a big playmaker. He's not known as the PPR guy, so I think he's going to be just fine. Don't worry.
With the Cowboys, the running backs we got to talk about. Javonte Williams scores 2 touchdowns. He really lifts up your fantasy team if you played him. I think he would have been a really scary start because the Eagles are supposed to have one of the top defenses in the league. I've heard a couple people have him on the bench and like, oh, man, I had him on my bench. Like, you got to trust the process. Trust the process. He's going to be that running back that is a touchdown-dependent running back. And we can look here. If you're just looking at just yards, he had 15 carries for 54 yards. That's only 3.6 yards per carry. Compared to Miles Sanders, he only carried the ball 4 times. He actually saw the hole when he ran for like a 40-yard run. But he fumbled the ball, and it pretty much cost the Cowboys the game, which means, are they going to continue to trust Miles Sanders as that guy that's going to carry the ball more? So maybe that'll provide more opportunities for Javonte Williams is my thought. And then there's other podcasters that I'm listening to, and they're like, oh, Jaden Blue, maybe they'll give the ball to Jaden Blue. This team does not trust Jaden Blue. He doesn't do pass protection. It sounds like he's a slug with the playbook. He doesn't try very hard. Pass pro, not that great. Like, I don't see Jaden Blue getting involved in this system quite yet. He was inactive.
Yeah. He was he was a healthy scratch. I was just looking into that. I saw that he was out, and I didn't look too much into it because I have no shares of Jaden Blue personally.
No shares, no cares.
Yeah, and I was just kind of brushing it off, seeing, and I was looking into it because I saw he was out. It sounds like a healthy scratch. They didn't bring him into the game, like you said. Miles Sanders, huge fumble.
No, he did really well in the first half, but then I'm seeing all these memes about him having butter hands and not being able to catch the ball. He did have 13 targets, only 7 receptions of those 13. I mean, look for the Cowboys to spread it around a little bit more. They can't just give every target to CD. They have to at least show that Pickens is a guy to have concern with and have to guard, so that way he can open CD up a little bit more for some bigger plays.
Yeah. Sorry, I think you cut out a little bit. I was talking about Javonte stuff. I think our internet misfired. But I just want one quick thing on Javonte is I think you hit the nail on the head. He's going to be very, very touchdown dependent running back. He wasn't that efficient, like you said, on the ground there. Caught 2 passes. I think he's going to be all right. He's going to be a flex play. He's going to be a worthy flex play. You're not wanting to go into every single week as, Javonte Williams is my RB1 or 2, but having him as an RB3, I think he's going to be just fine. So if you've hung on to him this long, I think he'll be just fine. If you're a contender, hang on to him. You can plug him in on weeks that it seems like the Cowboys will have a close matchup. And after seeing him on Thursday night, I mean, it's week 1, so everyone's still brushing everything, all the jitters off and everything. So maybe the Eagles just had a rough game and kept it close. But on some of the games that it is going to be close games, Javonte could be very useful. He could get a couple of touchdowns, and that's what you need out of your flex. So I think he's worthy of hanging on to and at least playing in that flex.
I couldn't help but hear you saying he's worthy to hold on to. He's a worthy flex. And just in case you played Xavier Worthy this past week for this Friday night game, you're waking up and you're seeing 0 points on the board.
Traded him away. I traded him away.
I did play him, and I believe he was in my flex, actually. So he was a worthy flex option. Unfortunately, I was not worthy.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're scum! We suck!
And I ended up getting zero points. I was watching the game. This game was played down in Brazil. And if you recall last year, Colton, when it was Eagles and the Packers, their turf was like the worst turf like ever. It was completely awful. In fact, Love ended up getting injured. I think AJ Brown ended up getting injured in that game also. But this year, because Patrick Mahomes went to Brazil, they decided to completely revamp the entire field. They were showing the sewing machine in one instance of the footage, like just sewing every little stitch that they needed to stitch, so that way the Golden Boy can have his turf for himself. But going back,
but he lost.
But they lost.
But he lost.
Going back to Worthy, my understanding is there was a miscommunication on the route runs. You could see the footage in slow motion where when Worthy got hit, his shoulder ended up getting extended like over his head, and he just got blown up, just completely blown up. He instantly goes to the sideline. The athletic trainers are looking at his shoulder, and you can tell his arm is just kind of hanging out to the side, and they look like they're relocating his shoulder right there on the sidelines.
Reducing it. Yeah. It was a nasty hit, man. I went and watched it on Twitter later on the next day, and you just see him crisscross, and Kelsey just like runs through him like a fly on a windshield, honestly, man. Like, it didn't affect Kelsey at all, and Worthy just I mean, that is the unfortunate part about these smaller, speedier guys. They're prone to injury. I mean, they're not going to take hits like that well. and especially like a blindsided hit from their own teammate, not expecting it. So that is the risk. He is,
A very unfortunate injury.
Right. He is a high risk, high reward type of guy, though, for something just like this, like that. Like, Devon Achane, similar thing. A small dude. If he takes those big hits, his body just cannot handle it from the big guys. So, but a very explosive player. It sucks that for the people that played him, I traded him away for Jalen Waddle in a second. So pumped about that.
But if you played him, the process was right. The process
Correct.
was right. They didn't have Rashee Rice for 6 weeks. Xavier Worthy against a division opponent in the Chargers.
Yeah, and also congratulations to the Hollywood Brown owners just because of that. Hollywood Brown got hyper targeted at that point with Worthy being out. So Hollywood Brown, as depending on when Worthy returns, he is a high priority target to have on your team, and you got to start him week in, week out, because they're gonna keep moving the ball around, and Hollywood's about the only one. He did have a couple of bad drops. My goodness, there was one that went right through his hands. I'm like, this is gonna get ugly quick. Patrick Mahomes luckily went back to trusting him and just kept firing it to him, and it worked out. So to the Hollywood Brown owners, plug and chug, baby.
I couldn't help but notice when I was watching the game with the Chiefs and the Chargers game, and I watched the whole game, every time that they were throwing the ball to Hollywood, it always seemed like it was on the line of scrimmage, and Mahomes was having to get the ball out really quick. And it reminded me almost like a Deebo Samuel. Like, we didn't trust this guy going down the field to catch the ball a little bit further. We have to get rid of the ball really quick. And so it was just a lot of like peppering to Hollywood, and that helps with PPR for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's not, scoring touchdowns, and if he's not getting any yards after those catches, like, it's going to be hard to accumulate any passing yards.
Yeah, I mean, he's a PPR play, though, for sure. But we also have to remember Hollywood Brown hasn't played football in a couple of seasons, really. I mean, he was injured 90% of last season, came back very late. The season prior to that just was brutal. I don't even remember his 2 seasons ago. I couldn't tell you what he did because it was just rough. It looked like his career's over. So, revitalizing
that was
it
the
here
Cardinals,
in Kansas
I think.
City. Yeah, I think that was his rough year with freaking Kyler.
Yeah, he missed most of that season, I think.
I was going to say, I thought he was injured that season as well, too. But so we got to remember he's got some jitters to shake off, too, just getting back into used to playing the games. I mean, practice is one thing. We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. Practice is one thing, but a new game's or the game's a whole nother thing. So I see him shaking those jitters off and starting to get some deeper targets because they need to take the ceiling off of the defense.
Yep. And you know who's not taking the ceiling off the defense? Juju Smith-Schuster. Travis Kelce.
No.
Triquan Thornton.
No.
All these guys are just guys. I could see them going more 2 tight end sets, and I was telling my wife this as I'm watching the game. I'm like, why don't they just do 2 tight end sets and have Kelce and Noah Gray on the field? They got the 2 tight ends, and then that'll open up the run lanes a little bit more. And speaking of the runs, like Pacheco has 5 carries, Hunt has 5 carries, and Xavier Worthy had 1. And no one had more than 25 yards rushing except for Patrick Mahomes, who had 57 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Yeah, it was.
That was brutal.
The running game was brutal. So to the people that listen to us about Pacheco, good call. Because it just, he runs so angrily and he looks like he should be good. And it just wasn't going anywhere. Now, this is a tough Philadelphia defense. And so.
Chargers.
Tough Chargers defense. You're right. A tough Chargers defense. They face Philly next week, which is even worse.
Yes.
Even worse. But
putting on my bench. Let them prove that they're healthy. Let them prove that they're going to run the ball.
But the tough Chargers defense even. And so, I mean, it's not something to say against them, but it is. I mean, maybe on the weeks where they face a little bit softer of a D. But, man, when they got to face those hard Ds, Pacheco was just getting stuffed, and so was Hunt. I mean, Hunt at least got a couple more passes because Pacheco just doesn't catch passes. So Hunt at least has maybe some upside. Hunt did. But
He looked like he was at least getting through the lanes.
yeah, it was brutal for sure.
But speaking about brutal runs, like Amari and Hampton, are you concerned? 15 carries for only 48 yards?
And don't forget the big mess up of running out of bounds too. Could have ran
Yeah,
the clock out.
that's
Um,
right.
I'm not concerned at all. He's a rookie. Like we said earlier, we were talking about earlier, college football is massively different from the NFL. It takes these guys some time to adjust. I mean, we're talking about practice. It's practice is one thing, but man, they're getting into the game. They're getting into the atmosphere. You know, he is his very first game is a NFL game in Brazil, a home game in Brazil. I mean, this guy, he looked good at times too. He showed flashes. He had bursts of speed through the line. He looked good. He didn't look like he was completely lost, which is the good news. He had a couple
Right.
of, boneheaded mistakes, had a couple of runs that it looks like, oh, he probably should have picked
Learn
a
from
different
it.
hole. But yes, as long as he learns, I think it looked fine. He showed flashes. I'm not worried.
You're not worried about Najee Harris getting 1 carry?
That was reported that they didn't know how much Najee would get. Najee looked good on his run though too. Is the crazy part. I think he had what 5 yards, 6 yards off of it.
It's
Five.
5.
I mean
It was fine.
he
He did
buried
catch a ball too.
he buried himself through the line. It looked all right, but I'm not concerned. I think there's going to be enough volume in this running game, but man, they moved that ball so well. I was so excited by this Chargers offense. I mean, they did so good of mixing up between the run and then also the pass. Lad McConkey owners just got to be so excited. Heck, Keenan Allen owners, man.
I
Keenan
had him.
Allen,
I had Keenan Allen on my bench in
same,
multiple spots
because I didn't
because I
know.
wanted to be proven that he still is there and they still have a connection with Herbert. And initially when I was watching the game, it was like, oh, there was a missed pass. Keenan Allen, just the timing wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it was just like bang, and he ended up catching a ton, and then got his touchdown later in the game.
My boy
So
Trey
there's
Harris.
20 points right there on my bench.
My boy Trey Harris with a big catch for him. He ran a nice route. I mean, he didn't play a whole lot. Once again, another rookie,
Well,
but
QJ, 2 touchdowns.
Huge looked good. Looked good. He looked good. I mean, that's the unfortunate part. He actually looked good on his big breakout touchdown.
New receiver for the
Caught
Chargers.
it right down the sideline and ran like on a skinny little hole and broke a couple tackles. He looked part. Maybe he's Xavier Leggett. Just takes his third or fourth year to break out.
Well, Leggett, he needs 5 years. That's why he got drafted in the first round. And I'm starting to hear hype for Leggett now that Coker's injured. People are like, "Oh, I've got to get Leggett. I've got to get Leggett." And I'm like, "Did we not learn anything from last year?"
Leggett's good now that Coker's gone. Coker was what, a 5th or 6th round pick?
Undrafted.
Or
You can't
undrafted.
beat out an undrafted player
Okay, that's
from
what I
Holy
thought.
Cross.
Okay, it's undrafted. I knew it was either late or undrafted.
Yes. So, in today's lineups with the games, is there any game that you're really like honing in on? A game that you've got a lot riding on, or a game that you're excited to see?
Obviously, it's Monday night. The Vikings Bears. That'll be such a fun game to watch. Is it Monday night or tonight?
Monday night.
Monday night. That's what I thought.
Yep, that's Bears Vikings.
Sorry.
We're on Sunday, Colton.
We are on Sunday. I don't know what day it is.
There's a lot of games.
Obviously,
I don't want to see any of these games. I just want to see Monday night. Thank you.
I'm obviously very excited about Monday night. Bears Vikings. I'm excited to see what JJ McCarthy will do. Bears defense is relatively good, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes out and how they're going to use him. Bears, obviously, big question mark on that offense of Ben Johnson coming in and shaping everything completely different. I'm excited to see how it'll look, how well the players are adjusting. There's a lot of high-value players on the Bears, whether not for fantasy maybe because there's so many of them. But it'll be interesting to see how they're going to use Colston Loveland and Luther Burden and DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. And it'll just be interesting and wild to see.
I'm really hoping that the defense for the Vikings can hold down Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is still so undervalued in fantasy football because he did still throw for 3,600 yards last season. His team was just really bad, and he has still some rushing upside. I think that Caleb Williams is going to be pretty decent with Ben Johnson. I'm just hoping it's not week 1.
But 3 other games
I hate it.
I am highly excited about. We got the Ravens-Bills tonight for obviously reasons, like 2 big juggernauts going at it. Lions-Packers, I'm excited. That NFC North, man, it's going to be a tough division. So that's going to be another fun game to watch. That's this.
And Micah Parsons is playing.
And Micah Parsons is playing. But the other game, I'm really excited about, which might seem odd to you, and it's Bengals-Browns game. Because I think this could be a game that the points just keep rolling, dude. I think they just keep going up and up. I mean, the Browns have a good defense, but the Bengals offense is just crazy unstoppable. But the Bengals defense is garbage. So we could see some points coming out from Cleveland, which, speaking of, there is some news out of Cleveland. For all of you that held out on Quinshon Judkins, and you got him late in the first because of it, after the news of that, he has finally signed his rookie deal, baby. Woo!
Fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. He is their RB1. Give him a couple weeks because he's got to practice.
Yeah. It's not week 1, but as of week 2, it sounds like he has opportunities to play.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, so for the people that were hyping up Samson and Ford all this time, like, oh, they really love Samson, they got to look so silly right now because they just fully guaranteed this guy's rookie contract. That is insane. He is coming in, he's going to take over, and he will be their RB1. Now, that doesn't say Dylan Sampson doesn't have a role to play and he's worthless, but Judkins is going to be their absolute workhorse. I'm so pumped.
Yep. And then just going back to the Cincinnati Browns game, I must be excited about it too because I ended up putting a 4-leg same game parlay, and I had Cincinnati Bengals with the -5 spread, so they give the 5-point advantage to the Browns. 60+ rushing yards for Jerome Ford. Call me risky. And then also Jerome Ford scoring a touchdown. I think it's going to be Jerome Ford's game at the running back position to lose. And then finally, T. Higgins receiving yards, 80 yards or more.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Yep.
I'm
trying to hit the buttons where I'm going to have some of the bigger benefits from. And Chase, I would have had to have him have greater than 100 yards. And I think he can do that at any game. I just felt like I had better value with the T. Higgins 80 yards, and that's why I went that route.
I get it. Absolutely. That's T. Higgins, I think, is going to be dominant force this year. I think with him and Chase, you can't lock up either one of them. And so it's going to be so tough to try to knock down this Bengals offense. But speaking of Higgins and the Browns, I do have a league. I just traded for Jamar Chase. I gave away pretty much my whole future. I got Chase, Kenneth Walker, TJ Hawkinson. And also sitting on my team, though, is T. Higgins. I've got them both in the lineup.
Wow.
I actually tried to go and trade for Joe Burrow as well. Like, that's how high I am.
Of course.
Bengals offense. I tried to go. It's a super flex, so tried to go trade for Joe Burrow. I offered up Drake.
Tough one to just get.
I offered up Drake May and young running back Caleb Johnson. And the guy's like, absolutely not. I'm not giving away Joe Burrow for that. And I'm like, I don't know what else I can give you. I've given away all my firsts and everything. So I tried to get him. It was unsuccessful, unfortunately. So I'm riding it out. But I've got both wide receivers, and I'm still pumped about it.
Nice. Now, with the Panthers and the Jaguars, we've already talked about Coker not being available. And Leggett, don't worry, he's still there.
He's there.
But
he's
this definitely gives a boost, though, to Tedrow McMillan and Jatavian Sanders for the Panthers. And then the Jaguars, I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, how much does Travis Hunter play on offense and on defense? And so that's another game I'm just kind of interested just to see, like, how many plays are we getting in both on offense and defense for Travis Hunter?
Yeah, he was listed as a starting wide receiver and a backup defensive back. So I think we see him obviously play more wide receiver because that's how they have it written down. But, unofficial depth charts, though, at the same time are so stupid. Like our boy Bill, really? The running back 4? Come on. We know what you're doing. We know what you're doing, Washington, you liar.
Travion Henderson is RB3
RB3.
for the Patriots.
Come on. I mean, come on.
In a game that they're going to have to run a lot because it's really rainy there. So watch the weather. That's another thing that I like to do on Sundays. Let's see what the weather looks like. How is that going to affect the game?
Do you go and pinpoint like other cities that they're playing? You go through in the morning and like pinpoint the cities that they're playing?
I think Patriots are playing in New England
Right.
against the Raiders. And I turned on the television and I'm looking and it's downpouring in New England. And I'm like, they're going to have to run the ball a little bit more. It's going to be a little slick down there.
That's wild. You
don't look at weather? Oh, man, I try and take all different angles. And sometimes it's a little bit too much, but I'm looking for any edge that I can find.
Sleeper does have like a little weather thing, I believe.
The one that is the wind. When they have the wind on there, and it's like, okay, well, what kind of wind are we talking? Are we talking like Cleveland Browns? It's going to be a windy like hurricane, or are we talking that it's going to be just a little blow of the wind?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now, but Sleeper does have like a feature where it shows the weather, and I can't find it right now. But last year, it was definitely useful. I was like, oh,
especially during the wintertime.
Yeah. Downpouring snow in Buffalo. God, just put a roof on your new stadium. Come on.
Don't forget like the hurricane like monsoon game. Remember Trey Lance's first game ever in the NFL against Fields?
Oh yeah, I do. And it was like a slip and slide in the water. I mean, come on. Just put a roof on.
But Genty could have a huge game because of the rain, but he could also have a poorer game because of the rain. Is he going to be able to hold on to the ball? This is his first game in the NFL. It's in Foxborough. Foxborough's tough to play.
And he is a big proponent for like making sharp cuts. Is he going to be able to
slow him down?
Yeah, it's going to slow him down. And he tries to make those sharp cuts and his foot just cannot hang on. So it could be interesting. Genty owners are definitely puckering right now. I've got him on the trade block just to see if there's anyone that's getting wily and excited about him, but no.
This feels like a Ramondre Stevenson game, though, right? With it being rainy and crummy.
Definitely
Or are you still starting up Henderson?
I'm
holding and waiting.
Unless I absolutely have to. I do not start rookies week 1 or week 2. I like to see them get their a lot of the times NFL just do the same thing. They don't want to put their rookie in game 1 if they don't have to. Like I fully believe if Najee Harris would have been healthy, it would have been more of a split there and for the Chargers. And so they got to ramp him up to game speed. They got to get him used to it. They've got to learn the game and the speed of the game. So I don't like playing him early on. I like to see him prove it or at least start showing some flashes where like, okay, next week could be their breakout game. And then after a couple weeks, I will start, feeding him in there. And, different guys are adjust to the NFL sooner, obviously. So you just got to keep an eye on it.
I think that, again, the strong component for us when we're putting our lineups in is like trust the process. You put your guys in for a reason. Like sometimes you just don't get the points that you're expecting, but don't make that allow you to make a really terrible decision in week 2 or week 3. Like the first couple weeks, we're starting to figure out like who are the guys that we can trust, who are the teams that are playing the way that we thought they were going to play, and who are the teams that are like doing things a little bit more obscure than what we had thought. And then we've got to be able to adjust at that time frame. And speaking of adjustments, the Steelers and the Jets have decided to just switch quarterbacks. And so I think this is going to be an interesting game to watch, Justin Fields versus Aaron Rodgers.
What is happening on the East Coast? Yeah, they literally just like let both go to free agency. Just flip flop.
Snip snap.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that happened until like I don't know. It was maybe like a week or 2, and I was like, wait a minute. Fields was on the Steelers last year, and Rodgers was on the Jets. It's like I can't remember.
Worlds are colliding.
It's like there's a comedian that talks about like truck drivers driving logs and they're going in opposite directions. It's like, well, if you had logs this way and you had logs that way, you think a simple phone call would have solved it. It just reminds reminds me of that. Just quarterback this way and that way.
Yep.
So
see, when I think of log trucks, I think of Final Destination.
Oh yeah, I do too. Absolutely.
So I wouldn't want to be at that intersection.
Dude, I go past those things at 100 miles an hour. If I'm passing a log truck, my gosh, I'm not sitting next to it. You know, Final Destination has ruined a whole generation, honestly.
Definitely. Let's see. We've got. Oh, there was some news about Kyler Murray having a little tummy ache. He's sick, but don't worry, he will start. So you can still start him up in your lineups, especially in your Superflex leagues, like I'm going to do, which is probably going to be a terrible call because I'll probably no sooner play him and then say, let's put Jacoby in there instead.
Honestly, I really hope that the Cardinals just suck this year, and they're
playing the Saints, the Saints,
and I think they're like a 7-point differential. Like, I mean, they're projected to win by 7 points. That's just to speak for how garbage the Saints are.
I think the Saints are going to surprise.
Oh man, I hope the Cardinals suck, honestly, because I just want them to be like, you know what, Kyler ain't it. I think he still has like 3 years on his deal, though, unfortunately. Maybe 2. I'll have to look that up.
A lot of Call of Duty.
And I hope they suck. I hope they have the number 1 overall pick. And they're like, you know what? We can't give up one of these good quarterbacks coming out of the college level. Oh, man. Marvin Harrison owners, just curl up on the couch with your favorite blanket. Have a box of Kleenex for the tears because it's going to be brutal. I'll be with you. I'll be doing it. I'll be crying. But I'm gonna play him. Like, you can't not play him. You gotta put that guy in. Sad.
How many games do you think Radler starts for the Saints before they decide to go with Shuck?
I think they give him 2 games.
2?
I think he would play this week and next, and then they're gonna be like, just to get. I mean, honestly, you could see him yanked halfway through next week. That's my guess. I mean, they played.
They're going to be just flipping and flopping all season long, don't you think?
Oh, it's going to be so ugly
until they decide to maybe trade for James Winston.
Come on, Jameis, let's go! No, I think they want to lose. I don't think they care. It's a new head coach. I mean, they threw a second rounder at Shuck, which was just ignorant. The GM needs fired. My goodness. Like, they're in money trouble. They're throwing seconds on irrelevant quarterbacks when you could have built up anywhere else. I mean,
had a good season with Louisville.
Yeah, when he was 80 years old, he's like already like 26 or something like that, 25.
He's close to your age.
Yeah, well, he's younger than me, unfortunately.
You're younger than him?
No, he's younger than me still. I'm getting old. But still, I mean, I think him and I entered college at the same time. He's just been there forever.
I thought you were going to say elementary school, but okay.
He's so old. He spent like 6 years in college or something like that. Just insane. What do you think?
It's insane how long these players can be in college.
What are the
6-7 years?
Oh man. So there's going to be a new quarterback starting next year. That's all I know. They're going to be terrible. Maybe they trade Kamara. That's what they should do. Trade Kamara, get some capital.
They need to just give him the ball at every opportunity and then trade him.
Yeah.
That's the wisest choice for the Saints.
Saints, if you need a new GM, give me a call. I'm here. I'll take the money.
So although that's a poor game, I'm not really looking forward to it. But I'm interested to see how the Rattler show saga begins and ends. A game that I am interested for. Colts and Dolphins in Indy. We are going to see the captain, Indiana Jones, just throw this ball around and take the Colts to their first win against the Miami Dolphins.
This is a tough game for two head coaches. Both of these guys are sitting on the proverbial hot seat. And my goodness, whoever loses this game is going to be sitting on the fire seat. That is the unfortunate part for both of these head coaches. Mike McDaniel, they haven't done much in Miami. They looked like they're going to be good and then just sputtered out and have been struggling ever since. Shane Steichen was the promised coach, bringing Jalen Hurts to whole new heights, and they thought it was him all along and starting to look like maybe it wasn't. And oh my goodness, whoever loses this game, I feel so bad for. I'm switching my odds to first head coach fired because of this schedule.
And who is it?
Well, it's just one of these.
Whoever loses.
Whoever loses this game, because it's going to be brutal, and it's going to be people are going to be calling for butts. I want their butts. Butts.
I played Josh Downs over Keenan Allen this week. Oh boy, I'm kind of feeling that one right now. I think that's Scott Fishbowl. That's Scott Fishbowl.
I'm excited to see what Pittman is capable of with Daniel Jones, at least. I am excited for that. Maybe Daniel Jones can get the ball to Pittman or Downs. Everyone thinking it's going to be Tyler Warren. I've heard a lot of podcasts talk about Tyler Warren's going to be the guy. I was like, everyone keeps forgetting that Michael Pittman was paid a lot of money, and he is still a good wide receiver. He's just had a crappy quarterback for the last couple of years.
No, it's quarterbacks.
Crappy quarterbacks for the last couple of years. So, yeah, I mean, Pittman's still good. He's had a couple of years to heal up that back now.
Well, you know who we're not going to see? We're not going to be seeing Darren Waller.
You know, in life, it's hard to love.
The owl. The owl gets me every time. Woo, woo. Woo. That's what the Miami Dolphins are saying. Who's going to be our tight end one?
They just picked Greg Dulcich, baby. He's on the practice squad. Call him up.
I picked him up in a league.
Call him up.
In a two tight end league. I think that's sneaky.
I dropped
that's really
him.
Sneaky.
I dropped him across the board, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If you get cut from the Giants, man, it's not pretty.
Ironically, both of them were with the Giants.
Yeah, that is true.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
We've got the Texans and Rams, and this game is going to be interesting because we want to see, like, how well is Stafford? Is Stafford healthy? Is he going to make it through the game? Is his back going to allow him to be the, I would say elite quarterback that he is or was? And then you've got the Texans that are really shaking things up with their wide receivers. Christian Kirk is not going to be available. And does that allow some of the younger rookies, the younger rookie wide receivers, do they get a chance to step up? Those Iowa State, they're going to have 3 wide receivers. Well, I'm sorry. Collins is going to be out there. If they do 4 wide receiver sets, they'll have 3 wide receivers from Iowa State.
Well, you about ruined some also news. Christian McCaffrey might also not be playing. So
that's not the same game.
What?
We're talking Texans-Rams.
Well, I know, but you said Christian, and you started to say McCaffrey, but you meant Kirk.
Yes.
So I was like, "What? You about
Freudian slip."
The slip there.
Freudian slip.
Higgins could be an absolute for some playing time. I mean, he will be getting playing time week 1, but we could see some heavy action coming his way just because Christian Kirk is out. My goodness, that is Christian Kirk's biggest problem, man. He can't stay healthy. good wide receiver, but just cannot stay out there, and availability is one of the best abilities. And so that sucks. But yeah, I mean, it should be an interesting game. See how Stroud bounces back from his sophomore slump. That's what I'm excited for, to see. Can he actually be back to that that quarterback one that he was his rookie year? I mean, he was slinging the ball, moving the ball around a lot, looked fantastic. Everybody had high hopes for him last year. I mean, in Superflex, he was being drafted like 3rd or 4th overall, which was wild to me. I did not take him there. But it's just wild to me that people are taking him there. But let's see how he jumps back from that sophomore slump he had last year, and see if he can get back to it.
Going to be interesting for sure. And, we were just talking about Christian McCaffrey, the Freudian slip, so we can go to the 49ers and Seahawks. The Seahawks, they have Sam Darnold behind center as their starting quarterback, and he's playing a rebuilt 49ers defense. And so we know, but we also know that Sam Darnold doesn't play very well when he's under pressure.
Man, the 49ers just went through some wild phases of defense this year. It's just people were
offense. All of their receivers were injured, just like the Packers.
It's like the 49ers were like, you know what? Last year, all the players, get rid of them. Just get rid of them.
Wipe the slate.
Just wipe the slate. It's wild. Yeah, and it's a divisional game, so it'll be a fun one. They know each other well. They know each other's head coaches, so it'll be a fun one to watch and just to keep an eye on. It'll be interesting for sure, though, just to see how it shakes out. I'm excited for Ken Walker, just to see if they really are sticking to their guns of we're going to run the heck out of this ball. So very excited for that one.
Yep, and then we've got, the Buccaneers and the Falcons. I think that'll be an interesting game. Michael Penix with the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Like last year when the Buccaneers and the Falcons played off, like these were shootout games. Mm-hmm. These were games that were really high-scoring games. And the Buccaneers now are going to be without Godwin. He's going to be out. McMillan, you had talked about him in the guillotine draft, I believe, that he's gone. So now we get to see what Egbuka does for the Buccaneers. So I'm excited about that personally. We keep seeing a lot of negative news about Rachaad White. And so does this give an opportunity for Sean Tucker? Sean Tucker, is it going to be Sean Tucker season? And then finally, the Falcons, like who's Penix throwing to outside of London?
Kyle Pitts season, baby.
Ray McLeod?
It's Kyle Pitts season. You already know. Have you been seeing all the memes going around like Twitter and everything about Kyle Pitts? Oh, it is incredible. It's like, go and look up Kyle Pitts 101. People just are just going nuts over Kyle Pitts season. They're like, Kyle Pitts, why would you draft anyone else when you can draft Kyle Pitts 101? I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm here for it.
I just think it's going to be an interesting game overall. I think it's going to be high scoring. And another game that I think is like low key an interesting game is the Giants and Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels is coming off of being a rookie of the year. Now he's got not just one weapon in McLaurin, but now he's got Debo. Does he get a chance to run the ball like we'd like him to? Okay. And then finally with
the game itself, not interesting. The players in it.
The players are.
Okay.
And then the Giants, what does Russell Wilson do? And does he help lift up our neighbors' shares, or is he one that says, no, I'm going to throw it to Darius Slayton, who's going to outproduce Travis Hunter this year?
That is a good point. And the Giants have a tough D. I mean, it is a tough defensive line. So it'll be interesting to see how Jaden Daniels responds to the sophomore slump that we see happen often with these quarterbacks. And, the Giants defense could carry them on. So it'll be interesting to see how he responds to a tough D right off the bat.
And then finally, our last game, Colton. We've got through all the games except for the Sunday Night Football game, and that's the Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills. Two juggernauts, two teams that are trying to eye for what is the Super Bowl.
Oh, Man, NFL knows what they're doing to really draw you in. Like, it's like week 1, they're like, let's give them Bills Ravens. It's like, yeah, do it. Let's go. It's so exciting just to see this game. I'm so pumped for it. You know, it'll be interesting to see who's Josh Allen throwing to. There's been reports. Is Khalil Shakir out? Has it been confirmed?
I think he's technically eligible to play this week, but also Keon Coleman popped up on the injury news this week, and so he's questionable.
Who's he throwing the ball? It's Dalton Kincaid season, baby.
Never. Oh no.
Dalton
They're in
Kincaid.
trouble if that's the case.
It's
They
time.
are so in trouble if that's the case.
Oh, the reports have been so bad about Kincaid. I don't know if you've been reading up. I'm sure you haven't because you don't care. But
I already know.
it's been so bad. It's been like, yeah, he's not getting a lot of playing time because Dawson Knox can actually block. And Dalton Kincaid, I don't know if you know this, cannot block. Apparently can't catch either. So
He's a move tight end.
I don't know what he's doing out there.
Not producing.
I'm so sad. I'm so incredibly sad. You win,
But you know
some,
who's
you
going to
lose some.
produce? It's going to be Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is going to go off in this game.
Oh,
You know, likely, don't forget, likely he's out. He's out for a number of weeks.
yeah. Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers should have a big game. Who do you got in this game? Let's just ask that.
Ooh. I think I got to go with the Lords of Death and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I've got Ravens defense playing the Buffalo Bills in one league. Or no, I don't. I have the Bills defense playing the Ravens, but that's because I don't have any other defense. But I think the Ravens are going to come out with a win.
I think so too. That's where I was going. One thing I did forget that I'm super excited about because it made me think about how you win some, you lose some. I was wrong about Dalton Kincaid. So that's the loss. But Ollie freaking Gordon, man. Woo! Should get the start on Miami. Man, I hope he tears up the Colts defense.
Is an Achane starting?
They said, I don't know if you saw Mike McDaniel's interview, but it was actually kind of funny because someone asked him about Ollie Gordon and how involved he'll be. And Mike McDaniel just straight up goes, this is a fantasy football question, isn't it? But Achane has popped up on the injury report. They don't know how super healthy he is. So he said that Ollie Gordon could get all of the touches or none of the touches. So I'm excited to see if it's going to be the all of the touches side and to see what he can do. He's looked great. He looked great in the preseason. So I'm pretty pumped about it. You know, for someone that you could have gotten the 4th round, sometimes undrafted, pretty exciting to have him up there and quite possibly getting to start week 1.
Well, that pretty much takes us through this week for the Fantasy Football Healers program. We'll try and provide some more knowledgeable insights as we continue through this fantasy football season. We hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry it was a little glitchy because of the internet, but nonetheless, I hope it was a good show for you guys. And don't forget to follow us at FF Healers and at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. And Colton, any last words?
Football's back! Salute.